Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and you guys, it's always my favorite podcasting day when I have the one and only Brit. I'm not going to call her Brittany Stone, even though that's her real name. Brit is one of our awesome consultants. And if you have not been lucky enough to meet her, to hear her podcast yet, you are in for an awesome treat. Brit, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I always love it when you call me Brittany because you always like, nope, I can't do it. It feels weird.
It does feel weird. Like, do you truly have anybody in your life that actually calls you Brittany other than your mom? Or does she even call you Brittany?
It's kind of, I feel like it's like a childhood verse, like at some point it switches and people call me Brit. Like my friends from like all the way from junior high, like most people call me Brittany from growing up.
Really?
And it's like college and beyond, probably where Brit came more into play.
Also, I'm going to say the reason I think I feel really awkward calling you Brittany is because when we're in offices together, when I hear you on calls, when we do coaching calls together, you always say, hey guys, I'm Brit. Never once have I ever heard you introduce yourself as Brittany. And so I'm always like, Brittany Stone on the pod. Like, it just feels weird. Like, who is that? Someone new? So if you
At this point, Brittany feels weird because, yeah, Brit's more common.
I mean, when I do call you, I say, hey, B to the Stone. So if we want to call you B Stone on here, we could.
I mean, there's also other nicknames that a lot of people call me, but Brit's good.
Save for another time. So if you don't know, Brit is really a truly, I don't even call you an onion because I feel like you've got more layers than an onion. So whatever has more layers than an onion, that's who Brit is. So if you get past like her first initial crack on the shell, consider yourself golden. Like you at least broke through. So, but Brit, I just adore you. If you guys can't tell, Brit and I have an awesome relationship. She is truly an incredible consultant. Definitely somebody that I have even entrusted my own clients. So all the consultants kind of have their client load. Clients come in, and I have actually had Brit go to some of my most elite offices on my behalf. So it's really I just love you on our team. I love you in my life. But today, Brit, let's dive into an awesome topic of, I think it's kind of fun because it almost ties right in line with our Dental Team Summit this year of optimizing, but it's how do you actually maximize? So it's not optimizing, guys. We're going to go to maximize. There is a difference between these two words, and we actually kind of thought hard when we were naming our summit of like, is it maximizing? Is it optimizing? And the reason we chose optimizing is because we wanted to just take the things you guys are doing in your practice day in and day out and just ramp them up to that 1 or 2% degree. So with that, we're going to actually talk about how to maximize. So Brit, let's kind of dive into different ways that people can maximize their office. I'll let you take the lead unless you want me to. But what are some ways you've seen? You coach a lot of clients. You just got off a call with a client right before the podcast. What are some of the ways you've been seeing offices maximize their practices this year successfully?
Yeah, I think when it comes, we for sure did look up the definitions of optimize and maximize and making that decision. And I think that like maximizing the practice comes down to a few different things. Like ultimately maximizing is, are we doing like everything we can with what we've got? So it might be like maximizing, are all of our team members doing everything they can? Are there any opportunities for our practice to be able to like grow, to add services, maybe to add team members, to really just maximize all the space and opportunities that we have? So some fun things, I feel like a lot of people are adding technology this year. I've seen a lot of offices bringing like milling crowns in-house, adding scanners, adding implants, adding CBCTs. And those are a lot of fun ways I've seen practices really start to kind of like maximize the business, maximize the practice.
Absolutely. And I really love that you brought that up because I think so many times right now, especially in gosh, I went to a conference and this is how they described it. They said our economy was kind of, just going, and now it's kind of turning into that hourglass where there's going to be the top half and the bottom half, and that middle portion is going to really get squeezed very thin. And I've thought about this imagery since I attended that conference, almost 2 months ago. And I feel like that's kind of where our practices are headed, right? If you're kind of that middle crowd, not the elite, not the bottom of the barrel, there's going to be a squeeze as we go through this economy. Inflation rates are going up, and I feel so many offices are trying to almost become the Swiss Army knife of dentistry to be able to appeal to so many different facets that their patients need in order to stay in that top half of practices and not be squoze out of the middle. And so that's something I really love. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast today, is helping us realize you can maximize your practice in all these different little ways. So like you said, can we do additional procedures in our practice? I will also pivot back on that because I think we have a lot of shiny object syndrome people out there that think they're maximizing by doing more. And in reality, I would ask, the CE that you have done, the time you've invested, have you maximized that to its fullest potential? For example, I've got an office that I'm thinking of right now, and they've gone to so much CE, I would consider them CE junkies for sure. They know sleep apnea, 3D printing, ortho, they know implants, they know pretty much you name it, they've been there, done that. But yet, I asked about their case acceptance, their schedule's kind of saying flat, and they said, well, I'm kind of doing some of these cases. And that's where I feel so many of us want to go and bring in all these additional pieces to it, but yet we're not maximizing what we've actually put the effort into. But do you see that in your practices where it's like, oh, I'm going to go do more marketing or go to this other CE to maximize, rather than just looking at your practice to see, have I actually maximized every ounce of what I've already invested in time and energy up to this point?
Absolutely. And I think I can think of one practice in particular, and I think this is common with a lot of people. They're like, all right, we added Invisalign. I also am learning how to do implants. We want to get them rolling. I'm like, well, let's choose a focus. Let's choose that thing. Let's figure out how to make it work really well so our team knows it. We can really make it productive. We do the thing well. Let's focus on one while you can still start dabbling in the other new. And then let's really then ramp up the second one. So we actually take the things that we've learned in these new procedures, instead of trying to go everything all at once and hoping something takes off, throwing things at the wall, see what sticks. Let's actually make sure we get them implemented.
For sure. And so that's where I really think is the greatest opportunity within maximizing a practice. So I actually pulled up, Brit, I don't even know who this person is, but I'll give them credit. Fergus Connolly. And this came across my desk because I was writing a pitch for Authority Magazine in USA Today. And super kudos, shout out to them for publishing us. It was a really big highlight of our company's lifespan, if you will. But Fergus Connolly said, having coached some of the greatest professional athletes and business executives, everyone wants to know what separates the great performers. The answer surprises, they are never the best at everything. The greatest performers are not the best in any one area, but they are the best holistically across all their lifestyle habits combined. The best optimize, they don't maximize. Many of us try to be perfect, to maximize everything, and get frustrated when we fail too. Sometimes we even let this affect our work performance and happiness. People are rarely perfect. I've never met a perfect NFL player, perfect Navy SEAL, perfect executive. The person who never misses a single workout, never misses 8 hours of sleep, only eats healthy meals every day. They don't exist. The best performers, however, when you add up everything, hit 80 to 90% consistently and never miss sight of their actual goals. This approach allows them consistently to make steady progress, build habits they can stick to, improve, gain confidence, and reaffirm their self-belief. They are optimizing each and every habit, knowing it won't be perfect, but it will be the best for them. Optimize everything. Don't fail trying to maximize everything. And I just loved that because I feel, to your point and to what we're talking about, I know we're talking about maximizing and optimizing, and I kind of read something contradictory to that. But I really love that because I truly do think this is the secret sauce of how you actually maximize your practice. You optimize in 80 to 90% of the things consistently. So if you're going to do CE, before we add more CE stacks on top of it, let's make sure we get that one system dialed in. If we're going to increase our new patient count, well, let's figure out, why are we increasing our new patient count? It's not because we listened to the podcast and we were told to do so. What are your ultimate long-term goals? And Britt, I don't know how you feel about that, but for me, when I really hone in on my goals and my sights of where I want to go, it makes it a lot easier to prioritize and to see what I need to consistently be working on to get to those goals rather than sporadically trying to just add all these things in to quote unquote maximize or optimize or be the best I can, because I truly am aligned with where my vision wants to go. Any thoughts you've got on that of what you've seen or what you've coached on as well? Are you guys sick of trying to figure it out on your own? I know I am. When I'm trying to run a business, sometimes I just think like there's got to be a better way to do this. And so for me, my answer has been to find someone who's done it and does it really, really, really well. Like I'm talking the best of the best of the best. I want someone who's been in my shoes, somebody who understands what I'm going through. When I was looking for the consulting business, I found a coach who literally has run a consulting business. Well, that seems like the perfect fit. So you guys, right now we have a few spaces open in our Platinum Consulting. That is in the consulting where we actually come to your practice. We help you get systems implemented. We don't just tell you what systems to implement. We actually implement them with you and for you. You guys, it is one of the best investments I have ever made is to hire a coach who understands the business I'm in, who's lived it, who's done it. And that's what we in the Dental team do. We literally physically fly to you. So if you're sick of trying to figure it out on your own, if you just want somebody who understands you, join our Platinum. I'd love to have you. I'd love to have our consulting team come out and see you, be in your office, be with your team, and truly help you get onto the easy path of dentistry. It doesn't have to be hard. So join us in the Platinum. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, and I think I'll say this when it comes to like maximize versus optimize. It's part of why we like chose to go with optimize for the theme of like our whole entire summit is that like ultimately maximizing, yes, fantastic, make sure we're using the space we've got, but optimizing like truly is the more important one, to make sure we can do things really well and we're not just overwhelming ourselves. Because I agree with you. If I try to do like 10 different things, let's say I'm going to eat healthy and exercise and get 8 hours of sleep, like realistically, it's probably not going to happen.
Brit's the most honest person I've ever met in my entire life. She will just straight up call herself out on it. Like, I'm not going to do it. There's no like, I'm going to try to think about it. It's like, no. Am I going to do it? No.
No, know thyself first. But if I pick one and then I get that as a habit and then I pick the next one and then I pick the next one, I'm going to actually end up getting the results that I want and everything that I needed and be successful at it.
And Britt, that honestly ties right into, I think, of a lot of what we actually do as a company. And that is, I think so many people come to us. I know I can speak on behalf of my clients, and I'm sure you have probably similar clients as well, that they are truthfully trying to maximize and optimize everything. And I just feel like it's like a smattering approach. Like we're just throwing a bunch of paint on the wall, hoping something sticks. And that's something I love about what we do is we can really help people, one, identify what their true goals are. So Britt, like when you're talking about working out and eating healthy and getting 8 hours of sleep, like, okay, what's your ultimate goal here? The ultimate goal is probably you want to have a rockin' bod. Like if I don't know, what is your
every time.
So if that's truly it, yes, could eating healthy and working out and getting 8 hours of sleep help with that? The answer is yes. But let's figure out which one you're actually most motivated by, which one's probably the easiest with the least amount of resistance that's going to get us the greatest results the fastest. Because I've also found there's a power of momentum. So I could be like, Britt, get your 8 hours of sleep. And you're like, yeah, but I got this crazy boss and I got to do all these clients and I'm always busy and I'm up to like midnight. I hope that doesn't happen. If it does, shame on you. Don't do that. Don't do that. We'll set timers on. But the reality is greatest impact with the least amount of effort that you're excited about is probably going to get you the greatest results. So I think in practices, there's oftentimes this paralysis of analysis of, I hear all these ideas on a podcast. I hear all these ideas in Facebook groups. I know I want to maximize. I know I want to optimize. But bottom line is like, first, like you said, know thyself. 2, get your goals super aligned. And then 3, what's going to give you the greatest impact with the least amount of resistance? So for example, for us as a company, our greatest opportunity, if we're going to grow and help and be our mission of to positively impact the world of dentistry in the greatest way possible. Well, right now we're looking for, okay, this one-to-one approach is awesome. We love it. We're never going to get rid of it. But yet how many people are we missing? We're not able to give the greatest impact possible. So we've got to start to look at like, all right, we've got a lot of resources. We've got a lot of consultants. What could we do to better serve more clients. And that question, that why, that desire is now where we're looking to utilize the things within our company with the least amount of effort to get the great amount of effort or of results. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that wasn't too choppy, but I think it's really know thyself, select a goal, like what do you actually want to achieve? And then what's the easiest path? And sometimes having a coach, like that's honestly what lights my fire consulting, is that we're truly able to find those priorities, help map out a plan. So it's not trying to optimize everything or maximize everything. That's why I literally love this line of like, optimize everything. Don't fail trying to maximize anything. And when you add everything up, hit 80 to 90% of things consistently, the things that actually matter. So those are kind of my 2 cents, Britt. Anything you want to add on any of that from your angle?
Yeah. And I think like some of the benefits of having like an outside perspective, like a coach or consultant coming in literally on my call we were just on, is figuring out how to like take good ideas and implement them. And like, no matter what, for someone who's got all the ideas, you've got to pick one thing and go with it. And it's going to happen like slower than you probably would like it to go for us to make it successful. We can't tackle all the things, like, so helping to guide them through like, all right, what's the most important thing? Let's pick that and let's solve it. Let's figure it out. Let's implement it so that you guys can actually be successful.
For sure. And so I really think it's like, if you guys are listening to this, I would say like, let's make this actionable for you. So number 1, what is your ultimate goal? What is the ultimate goal for this year, for maybe 5 years, 10 years, personally and professionally? Because I think as owners and leaders and those people who are killing it and listening to the podcast, that is who you are. You're thinking in those terms. So what is that ultimate goal you're looking for? And then after that, like you said, let's figure out what we need to do to get there. Is it new patients? Is it case acceptance? Is it hygiene? Are we actually hitting 80 to 90% of the metrics within each of our departments? Like that would be my next step I would look at. And if there's any of those areas within KPIs that are low, let's optimize that area first, because that's just low hanging fruit in your practice. If your hygiene department is not hitting at least 3 times their pay for production, that's a really awesome opportunity. If your collections are not at 98%, another awesome opportunity. If you're not at least hitting 30 to 35 new patients per provider or per doctor in your practice, another awesome opportunity. If your overhead's not sitting between 50 and 65%, I prefer the 50 side, we need to optimize there. Those are really easy things. If our AR is over 1 month's worth of collection as a total AR, another great opportunity to optimize. Do we have our systems documented? If not, another great opportunity for us. But again, you can sit here and get your operations manual done, optimize, congratulations, but did that get you closer to your ultimate goal? So like you said, Britt, really dialing that in, because teams only have so much effort. We only have so much energy, so much time in a day. So let's make sure the things we really are trying to work on are going to move us towards that greater goal rather than just being busy work. Any thoughts on that? Because I feel like we feel that doing is actually progress when oftentimes doing is just spinning in circles from my perspective.
Yeah, let's take it back to like, all I want is a rocking body and I've got 3 choices. Ultimately, I know the body's made in the kitchen. That's where I'm going to have my biggest impact. So that's probably where I would start. So kind of pick your biggest impact and don't just run on everything trying to get it all done.
And don't go buy leftover Easter candy and get it out of your kitchen. Hashtag me. But you're right. Like greatest, biggest impact rather than just doing busy work. Britt could say, oh, I'm sleeping 8 hours and I'm drinking water, but I'm still missing the ultimate result that I want. So looking at your practice, I would say, guys, take this, look to see in your practice, are we kind of spinning our wheels trying to get all these things done? Or are we super laser focused on 1, 2, or 3 things, consistently hitting it? Not trying to be perfect, but consistently hitting it 80 to 90% of the time. If you guys need help with this, our company, like this is literally what we were made to do. Our job is to come in, see all the things you need and help you identify this, and this are your top 3 priorities to get what you want. And here's the easiest path to get there. It's like for Britt, if she knows it's made in the kitchen, well, she can either try to have self-will and not go and buy all the great food and cut out the carbs and, eat fruits and vegetables and just really be a super clean eater. Or she could actually just hire a chef that comes into her house that makes the food for her. Like which one? Like we're not going to go off of willpower. Reality is that's probably going to get her the greater results faster than trying to have self-will that's going to push it forward. So I really think sometimes hiring an expert, hiring someone, if you really want that goal, and this is where you determine, is that goal a must or is it a should? Because shoulds don't happen, musts do.
Amen.
I agree.
Must definitely do. And deadlines help you get the must.
Oh, good call on that. So it's like, when are we going to hit that must? So I think if I was recapping all of this for you guys, really think about, like, we're not going to fail trying to be perfect. Let's see where we could optimize. I listed off a ton of things for you guys. Set that goal. Figure out where is our low-hanging fruit right now that's going to have the greatest impact to help us get our higher goal. And then set deadlines. And if you need, or even if you want, sometimes it doesn't even have to be a need. Sometimes it's just nice to have an outside perspective tell you you're doing a great job, and here's an easier way to do certain things that have been a struggle for you. So reach out, guys. We'd love to help you. Email us, hello@thedentalaidteam.com. You guys can find us on social, the Dental Aid Team. DM us anyway. We would love to help you out. Britt, I love this topic. I love optimizing. Because really, at the end of the day, I think it's more optimization rather than maximization from my perspective.
Agreed. And that makes everybody's lives easier in the end. So I'm with you on that, and always so much fun getting to podcast with you.
Likewise. All right, guys, go optimize today. Don't wait. Optimize in some way. Reach out if we can help you. hello@thedentalaidteam.com. And as always, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time on the Dental Aid Team podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental Aid Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.